All right, so I'm going to start right on the dot just because I have a lot of information to try to squeeze into 30 minutes and I don't want to run over in case anybody has anywhere else they have to be. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Arin Cacciolo. I'm a senior director in Brooklyn, New York, and I am super excited to talk today about getting bookings from parties. Before I open up my slideshow and I start going through everything, I'm super passionate about this because in all honesty, unless you're booking parties from your parties, you're always going to struggle. And nobody wants to be that person who's constantly chasing bookings. And if you're not booking parties from your parties, that's what's going to happen. And without parties on your schedule, none of the other things matter because nothing else will happen if you don't have parties on the schedule. So I'm going to share a slideshow. I have had issues in the past where my Zoom shuts down when I share. If that does happen, I'll jump right back on and I have someone on standby to help. But let's see, I deleted my Zoom, I re-downloaded it, and I think this may be the first time I've been able to do this in a long time without it shutting down. So I am very excited. Okay, hold on. So let me play my slideshow. All right, awesome. So I'm referring to this as Lucky Sevens because it's 7 tips on how to book parties from parties. But truth be told, there's zero luck involved. There's no luck. Nobody can say, oh, I got lucky. I had a really good host. I got lucky and I got bookings from this party. It's not about luck. It has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with you putting in the work, doing the things, and really making sure you get bookings from every party. Will there be some parties that get you more and some that are hard to get bookings from? Yes, absolutely. But if you do the things and you implement the systems, you will, generally speaking, get bookings from all of your parties. And your goal should really be to get 2 to 3 bookings from every single party, because we all know that there's a certain percentage of parties that are not going to happen. They're going to cancel, they're going to ghost you, they're going to fall off, they're going to fail. So if your goal is 1, then your business is always going backwards because a certain percentage of them are never going to happen. If you're booking 2, then you're at least going to lay flat with your business and you don't have to worry about going backwards. And if you're booking 3, you're constantly going to be growing in your business. So tonight I'm going to talk about the 7 biggest tips that I can give you on how to book parties from every party. And truly it's working smarter, not harder, because none of this is about doing more work. It's about being smarter with the work that you're already doing. So tip number 1, are your parties fun and interactive? This is what I say to anybody when they tell me they're having a hard time booking parties from their parties. If you were a guest in one of your parties, if you open up one of your parties and you scroll through it and pretend you're not you, would you want to have a party with you? Is there like a fun environment? Are people enjoying themselves, or are your guests in your parties just feeling like they're being sold to? Is it just like a commercial after a commercial after a commercial? Because that's not what people want. Nobody wants to feel like they're being sold to. So your party needs to be fun, it needs to be informative, and it needs to also have other aspects, like you need to show who you are, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But really, the one thing that you want to focus on is your party fun and is it interactive? So these are just a couple of examples of some of the types of posts when I say fun and interactive. Some of them can have to do with our products. Some of them can have nothing to do with our products. I try to make sure everything is related back to food or drink somehow, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to have anything to do with our product. So like watermelon with salt or no salt. That's something that gets people get really passionate about that. I never even knew that salt on watermelon was a thing. It is. And people get very passionate about that. Or just having fun with your graphics or playing games. This count 100 for 100 game is highly interactive in every single party that I do. So look at your parties and say, if I was a guest, would I book a party with me? That's the first thing. 2, are you creating opportunities to create one-on-one conversations? This is probably the most important part in getting bookings. Because even if you're having a really fun party, if you're not talking to people, you're not booking parties with them. And there's only so far you can get in comments or like within the party. A lot of it has to happen in a personal one-to-one conversation. So here are a couple different things that I do in my parties to make sure that I'm creating opportunities for one-to-one conversation. Now, I'm going to say, first and foremost, I don't message every guest. I do not go through and welcome every guest. I do not send multiple messages to my guests throughout the party. I do a couple of different things, and I'm going to talk about each of them. But one of the things that I do is I create these situations where I am messaging my guests for a specific reason, and they know I'm messaging them, so they're going to respond to me. So the first image here is a welcome post. So I do a welcome post every day for the first couple days in the party. It's where you tag all the new members, but I'm not just tagging them and I'm welcoming them. I'm tagging them. I'm showing them how to update their settings. I'm asking a question, an interactive question, and I'm telling them if they respond below that they'll get a welcome gift from me. So this question is, are you a Pampered Chef Pro or are you new around here? Every single person that responds, I send them a message. In that message, I send them an e-recipe book. So easy gift. It's not anything that costs anybody money. And I ask them how they know the host. And then I comment on their comment, something about whatever their response was. And then I say, make sure you check your messages for a welcome gift from me. I know Facebook can be wonky, so let me know if you didn't receive it. So this way they know to check their messages. And once they open your message, that door to communication is open. Then you can message them. Then Facebook isn't going to block you. And then you have an open door to actually start having a conversation and talking to them as people versus your next possible host or booking. The next one is this or that posts. I do this or that posts throughout my party. I'll usually do 2 or 3 per party. Often they're recipe this or that post. Sometimes it's something different. But the recipe this or that post is another opportunity where I can message somebody with something of value to them where they're going to want to look at it. So this or that, which one of these pizza stone recipes are you interested in? Whichever one they pick, I send them the recipe to their messenger and I respond, and you can see I put it in there so you can see I tell them that I sent the recipe to their messenger. This way they go in and they look at it. When I send the recipe to their messenger, I'm also asking a question. So I'll be like, oh, here's the taffy apple pizza recipe. Are you enjoying the party so far? Or, do you own any stoneware yet? Or something along those lines. So it's not just here. So I get more than a thank you. I get a response, and it opens the door to create relationships and conversation. Because truly, this is a relationship business. And at the end of the day, if you're not creating relationships and you're not having conversations with people, then you're also not going to be having that pathway to get parties booked. And the last one is, which deal would you want? So these are all the prices that only hosts can get. So whichever one they choose, I'll also tell them I'm sending you a message about whichever one they choose. I send them a message. I tell them about the host rewards for the following month and how they can get that. So that's a natural segue into talking about a booking as well. Number 3, are you utilizing project broadcast? So I know this one may be somewhat controversial. It also may create a lot of questions. So if there's time at the end, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you don't know what project broadcast is at all, on a high level, what it is it's a scheduling text message system where you can schedule text messages. I use it for everything in my business, and I love using it for what I call guest coaching. So this is how I avoid having to message through Facebook Messenger all of my guests in all of my parties. How many of you guys are messaging all of your guests? And how many of you guys have gotten the old red circle telling you that you're messaging too many people, where you're blocked from messaging for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, whatever? Super frustrating. So something like this makes it so that you don't have to do that. So I'm creating a broadcast for each of my parties with the keyword. The keyword is whatever the host's name is. I have multiple points in the party where I'm creating an opportunity for them to text me that keyword with some sort of an incentive. So here it's part of my early bird giveaway. So like my business page, place an order, and opt into texts by sending me a text with that with the keyword on it, right? So, and on that post, I do that post the first day of the party, and I tag everybody in that post, because to me, that's one of the most important posts of the party, because it gets people liking my business page, it gets people placing orders early, and it gets people into my project broadcast. So what this broadcast looks like, it's a calendar broadcast. So if people join later on in the party, they won't get all 4 text messages. It's a series of 4. So one is sent on Tuesday, one's Wednesday, one's Friday, and one's Sunday. So if they join in the middle, they only get the ones from that point forward. The first 2 are more relationship building. One is, these are my favorite Pampered Chef items. Are you familiar with Pampered Chef? What's your favorite item? The second one is always some sort of a recipe. No ask at all there. It's just, oh, here's a recipe. I could be asking them maybe about stoneware. I think this was because it was the stoneware special. And then the last two are a booking ask and a ordering reminder. But this is a great way to have those conversations without having to send all of these Facebook Messenger messages. And it, again, opens up the lines of communication. When somebody is responding to any of these text messages, it's imperative that you respond to them. Don't just, okay, don't just thank you. Start a conversation, ask them questions, get to know them, because the more you get to know people and the more people get to know you, the more likely they're going to want to have a party with you. You're going to increase the like, know, and trust factor, and they're going to actually want to party with you. Number 4, are you using a Google form drawing slip? If you're not using some sort of a Google form drawing slip, this is an easy way to get incremental bookings off of every party. Are you going to get 100 people? Are you going to get every single person in your party filling this out? Absolutely not. But you will get a couple from every party. So this is another, when I post in my party, here's the Google form. I give 100 bonus points in my, party giveaway to anybody that fills it out. I only tag everyone in the party on 2 posts. It's the early bird giveaway and this one. So I don't tag everyone in my ordering posts. I try to make it strategic where I'm not making it look like I'm asking people to order, and I'm more focusing on building the relationships. So the Google drawing slip is super important because it gives you their contact information. So as soon as people fill this out, they get put into the project broadcast as well. So they get put into the project broadcast for this party, and they also get put into my general project broadcast. And it also asks a bunch of important questions, right? Like, are you interested in earning host rewards? Are you interested in a shared rewards? Are you interested in fundraising, joining my team? There's a ton of different questions on here. But the most important piece and the real magic is that you have to connect with every person that fills it out, not just the ones that say they want to host the party. Obviously, the ones that say they want to host the party, you're going to reach out to book the party. But even if they say they don't, reach out to them and just thank them and start some sort of an authentic conversation so the connection is there, so the conversation can continue later if if and when you ask again if they want to host the party. So this is super important. Number 5, are you using a trade-up prize? So I'm not going to go into detail about what to give prizes away for, because there's a lot of different ways to do this. I know a lot of people do the prize every day giveaway or do different prizes throughout the party. I do 2 prizes throughout the party. I do my early bird giveaway, which is always to somebody who orders in the beginning of the party. And then I do my party prize, which is, I give away raffles throughout the entire party. Everything is incentivized with raffles, and there's 1 prize given away at the end. But by doing a level up or a trade up prize like this is opening the door for more bookings. So they can choose something from that first row. The first row is obviously lower price point items. There are things that are in the send gift feature because that's how I do my gifts. This can be, if you send things physically, it can be something from there. But the lower line are really popular items, generally in the $20 to $30 range, that they have to book a party in order to get. So even if they choose something, like I'll send that, somebody like, oh, congratulations on winning the early bird giveaway. You can choose something from row A, or if you want to host a party with me, we can upgrade you and you can choose any of the items from row B. Even if they choose from row A, I will respond back and I'll say, absolutely. I'll make sure I get that out to you. But before I process that, I just want to make sure that you're not interested in hosting a party, and kind of elaborating on what hosting a party gets them. I'll tell them that they get this in addition to, and I'll tell them what the host specials are. And often they'll have said they'll take the citrus peeler, but after talking to them, they'll be like, you know what, I will host a party. Why don't we not do the citrus peeler and I'll do the garlic press or cup slicer along with everybody else that's waiting for their cup slicers. But everybody loves it, so I'm leaving it on there, even though they're going to have to wait for it. But that's it. It's a really great way to get people to kind of think about it, even if their initial reaction was a no. Number 6, are you tracking and asking? So this is kind of the other way that I avoid the message everybody from the party. So if you're not tracking activity in your parties, then you're leaving lots of stuff on the table, specifically bookings. So this is what my tracker looks like. My tracker is very simple. I don't track a ton of things. I track any participating guest. So I don't put every guest in here, only as they participate. So I do this twice a day. First thing in the morning, I go through my party and I update it with anything that happened overnight. And then I'll do it either in the afternoon when my kids are doing homework or in the evening when my kids go to bed is the second time that I'll go in my party and I'll scroll back through the day and I'll update anything that happened in the day. And honestly, those are the only times I check on my parties at all. So that's how I run my business. I check on my parties generally twice a day. So I update who's there. If they're just participating, I'll click on participating. That just means they commented at least once. I have hidden items, so I do hidden items. And if they're playing along and I know that they're really interacting and they're having fun, I'll mark that. If they join the text list, meaning that they opted into the text messages, did they fill out the Google form? Did they book their own party? So this is a way for me to really track who's doing what. So then at the end of the party, when, some people may open up the guest list and start messaging every single guest. I won't do that. First of all, anybody who's already on the project broadcast list, I don't have to send them a message because they've already gotten the message through project broadcast. And then I can go through here and send the message on Facebook to anybody who's actually interacting, even the slightest bit in the party, versus messaging everybody. Because you have to kind of pick and choose with Facebook. You don't want to put yourself at risk by throwing putting yourself out in the fire. Listen, are there times that I'm not getting what I need out of a party that I will message all of the guests? Yes, but that comes last. First, I know I have the people in project broadcast. Then I focus on the people that are actively doing something in the party. Then, and only then, if I have not gotten bookings from the party, will I move on to anybody who I haven't already messaged that's on the guest list. But more often than not, 99% of those messages that you're sending to people who haven't even commented once are either going to go unread or not positively responded to. So why put yourself at risk of getting blocked and locked and all of the things that Facebook does on people that are likely not going to do anything when these are the people who have at least showed a little bit of interest, right? Secondly, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So if you're not doing any of this, if you're not asking everybody, you're not tracking, and you're just hoping that those posts in the party are going to be enough to get bookings, I'm telling you from someone who's been around, I've been in this business for just about 9 years, or sorry, for a little over 9 years at this point. That's not how it works. Once in a while, yes, once in a while you'll get lucky and someone will be like, oh, I want to host a party, or the host will tag a friend and they'll be like, oh, I'll do that. But 99% of the time, if you're not asking somebody, you're not getting that booking. So you need to make sure you're finding the opportunities, whether it be through something automated, whether it be through this, whether it be through the authentic conversations that you're creating throughout the party, to ask them point blank if they want to host a party, because this is your business. This is something fun to them. So you need to be the one driving the bus on your business, and you need to be the one deciding what's going to happen tomorrow. Number 7, are you being you? And this one's really important. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Pampered Chef consultants, right? There are almost 150 of us on this call today, and this is just a couple of organizations. There are tens of thousands of consultants out there. What makes you special? What makes you different than the other 50,000, I don't know the actual number, consultants? Why should people want to host a party with you and not somebody else? You have to be realistic. Most people that are getting invited to your party have been invited to other parties or have participated in other parties, know other people. Why would they choose you? And the reason, the honest reason, is that you are your biggest booking tool. You need to make yourself into somebody that people want to have parties with. And that's different for everybody, right? Some of you that are on here may be amazing cooks, and you may be that person that people aspire to be. So embrace that and really show that in your parties, right? Me, that is not the case. I am not an amazing cook. And anybody who's ever been a part of my parties or on my VIP group knows that. I cook for function, and most of my videos have my kids in it because, they're the only reason I do cook, because they require food. So I have all the posts in my party they show my personality. They show pictures of me. They show pictures of my kids. I use my Bitmoji a lot. So it's not always pictures and videos of me, but whoever you are, embrace that and show it. Don't think that who you are is not right. Don't say, oh, well, I'm too old and people aren't going to want to, buy from me, or, whatever, or I'm a man and no one's going to want to see what a man has to do, or I'm not a good cook. It really doesn't matter. Whoever you are, people are going to be drawn to that, as opposed to you showing a party filled with marketing imagery, because marketing imagery is beautiful. It's beautiful. The home office does an amazing job, but there's nothing behind it. It's like watching a commercial on TV. There's nothing behind it. They want to see you. They want to see who you are, and you have to give them a reason to say, you know what, I like going to your parties, Arin. I love seeing how big your boys have gotten, or I love seeing what kind of crazy stuff you guys are getting into. Like this thing in the middle, I don't think I can play the video. I tried to make it so I could. Oh no, that didn't work. I tried to make it so I could, and my tech savviness apparently is not there. But that's me and my oldest son doing a cup slicer challenge, where I gave him the cup slicer, I used the paring knife, and we raced. And we saw who could go the faster. I don't know if you guys saw the test kitchen version of that when they were launching it. And people love it. People love stuff like this. So just really think about how you can be the most authentic you that you could possibly be, because that's where the bookings are going to come from. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to open up the floor. I'm not watching the chat. So I'm going to open up the floor and see if anybody has any questions, or if they want me to dive deeper into any of the topics that I mentioned. Don't be shy.
Hi, it's Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
I have a question because I'm very new. This is only like my second week.
Welcome, and congratulations for jumping on a call like this when you're only 2 weeks in.
Well, I have 2 parties this week, so I'm working on that too. But yeah, so my question is this: you were talking about the project broadcast.
Yep.
And so I don't know anything about that.
So Project Broadcast is, you can go to projectbroadcast.com to get like a general idea of what it is. Pampered Chef does have a partnership with them also, where you can get a discount. I'll be honest, I've been a member since before the partnership, so I don't utilize it. But if you go to projectbroadcast.com, they have videos right on the website that kind of show you what it is, how it works, so you can get a feel for it, just to see, it's really helpful for a lot of, I do my host coaching on it. So my host coaching is all automated to send out through text message every day. I do this on it. I do all my customer follow-up through it. So it really makes it easier to like set and forget a lot of stuff in your business.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm looking through the text. As far as table goes, I saw somebody asked on how you can use this for table. I honestly don't use table. So some of this may apply, some won't. The parts that definitely do apply are that you have to ask and you have to show who you are, because those things at their core are a part of our business. Whether you're doing cooking shows, Facebook shows, table shows, no one's booking a party with you if you're not asking. And if you're not being your authentic self and showing who you are and being fun and all of that, then you're not going to get people wanting to have a party with you. Anyone else? I'm scrolling through the questions as well. Whitney, I see you asked, how many parties do I run a week? So I run generally between 5 to 10 parties a week, generally 7 to 8, depending on what's going on in a given week. The upgraded prize, do I tell them? I don't tell them anything before they choose the prize. Once they choose the prize, I tell them, if it's from level 1, I tell them it'll be shipped separately from their order. If it's level 2, I let them know that it'll be added to their host cart at the time of their party.
Thank you. And with the 5 to 10 with Project Broadcast, does it get confusing with the keyword? Because I love that idea, but then I was thinking, if you have multiple hosts, like, or do you just delete the keyword after that week's party? I'm guessing maybe.
I generally delete them like once a month, unless I have multiple hosts with the same name, and then I will delete it. And if I have 2 hosts with the same name in the same week, which has happened, then I'll add an initial in, but generally once a month, I'll go in and clear it all out.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just reading through.
Hey,
Anyone
Arin?
else? Oh, yes, Brenda.
Hi, great
Hi.
job. This was fabulous. I can't wait to go back and watch it all over again. Really quick, I was just kind of wondering, some of the graphics you had, first, they were the watermelon and the games. Do you create those yourself, or, because those are kind of unique?
Yeah, I create all my own graphics in Canva. And for those of you who are like, oh, I can't do that, I promise you, a couple years ago didn't even know how to like type in a screen. I would have to ask one of my team members to do that for me. So it's been like an evolving, growing process, and now I absolutely love it. And you sitting and playing in Canva is like one of my favorite things to do. So it's been an evolution.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Emily, are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I can give y'all a tip on the graphics. There's this group y'all can get into. It's called Pampered Chef Images, and that will help tremendously if you like. I don't really have time to sit down and like create some of these boards and stuff like that. There's also one called Boards. Y'all can get into those, and they I don't know, if it weren't for Pampered Chef Images, that's like a good 100% of some of the stuff that I do. And
Yeah.
but that one right there
It's
helps.
it's definitely a great starting point, and I definitely I used to get all of my graphics from in there, but I will caution you, because using only graphics from those takes you to the place where you're not showing who you are, where you're not, being authentically you. You're just using graphics, and it's still like not home office graphics, but they're not you as much. So it's a great place to start. And then you can start to like sprinkle in graphics. I'll tell
Right,
you, I
that's
don't
what I
create.
mean, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't create all new, like I will in the beginning of the season create a couple of new ones for a couple of new products. And then each month I'll add like 1 or 2 new ones. So it's not like I'm sitting and creating hundreds of graphics every month, but I think, and I try to I reuse lots and lots of stuff, and also try to use things in multiple places. Like if I go live on my business, my VIP page, sorry, like that race I did with my son, we went live on my VIP page, and then I downloaded the live and put it into a Canva. So it's not like I did that just for the parties. I had already done it, and then I try to reuse everything. So you're working smarter and not harder. We have about 3 more minutes. So does anyone have any other questions?
Yes.
Yes. Who's that?
So, on the tracking and stuff, is that a template, or did you create it yourself, or is that something we can all do ourselves individually?
I'm happy to share the template with the other leaders. So whoever your leaders can share it with you. I honestly think Danny may have shared that with me like many years ago, and I've edited it and tweaked it. So it's like a fairly generic one that I think people tweak and evolve into what they want, but I'm happy to share the link with the other leaders when I share the recording.
I was just curious. Today is I just started 30 days ago, so.
Congratulations, and thank you for joining us and investing in yourself and being on these calls. It's a Google sheet, so I could just share the Google sheet, and you could do whatever,
Okay.
Whatever you want with it.
Arin, when you said you tag everybody in your Google form, are you individually tagging or doing that at everyone?
Okay, so I individually tag everybody, and I've done at everyone. I don't like it. I don't like at everyone for a couple of reasons. First of all, when you get tagged in an at everyone, it tells you when you get notified that you and members of the group are being tagged. I know me personally, when I see that, I never ever open it. So I personally tag each person. That does take a little more time. So, if you don't have the time to do that, you can at everyone, but I find that I get better response rate when I actually tag each name.
Now, I was just curious, like the at everyone hasn't worked for me for 3 weeks. So I didn't know if there was like a secret or rhyme or reason. So no, that makes sense.
Oh, it does work for me, but I know me personally, I don't open them. So I only do that. Like if I'm in a time crunch, if I have a week where I'm super, super busy, then I will do it. But most of the time I'll go and do each name. Yeah, Facebook decides what works for who on any given week. So we never know what features are coming or going or anything like that. Yeah. Any other questions? No? I kept the time. I'm proud of myself. There's, I can go on and on with this topic. So I had to try to truncate it. So I will share the Google form, and if there's anything else that anyone wants to see, just let your leader know, and I can make sure I share whatever that is along with the recording as well. Can I share the project broadcast bundle? Yeah, I can share the project broadcast bundle as well as the tracker. All right. All right, guys, then we're good. We're exactly on time. So have a wonderful night, a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.